There's not been much buzz surrounding Infinity's Yu Jing faction. I for one have been quietly anticipating this release. No, they're not perfect by any means, call it recency bias, or maybe it's my love for these futuristic designs, but they may end up being my favourite line of figures from Joytoy's Infinity line.
Shut up and sit down.
Hey you scallywags, take a look at Yu Jing figures from Joytoy. Not all of them. The assault cores here, as there's another version with a helmeted head, full helmeted head, and these guys, Invincibles, there's two others but different loadouts. We'll start with smallest to largest, and this one wins out. So this is the Ming Assault Cores 1. There is a number 2 with a full helmeted head and a different weapons loadout. Stand. There's the figure, loads of hands there to choose from, knives and other stuff. Yeah, looking good. So all of them except for the Wolf exosuit come with the same set of hands. They each come with a pair of fist hands to help with the punching. A pair of trigger finger hands, which unfortunately doesn't work too well with this guy, which I'll show in a moment. A pair of support hands for the rifle, which is really lacking in Joytoy's 40k line. And these grabbing hands for other accessories. Ming comes with this knife, which he is able to hold, but is a bit loose in the grabbing hand. He also has this sheath version, which is nowhere to store it. His eyebrows are a bit shiny, they're not really aligned properly, but I do like the Bane look. Nice bald head. I like the design of the torso here. Underneath here is not so great. The arms I do like. Nice and chunky. Chunky back. Cyber butt. Good detail on the legs. Gun here holstered like some of the other Infinity figures. Bit of yellow on that gun. And a drilled barrel. You can hold the gun quite well with this trigger finger hand. It can be stored away nicely. Holster's still a bit too chunky for me. Drilled barrel for this gun too. Can only really hip fire though, can't hold the gun with both hands. And I'm using this gripping hand to actually hold this gun, as the trigger finger looks odd and bent. This head's on a double barbell joint, so you get some tiltage action. You can turn that, limited by that wire. Not much range going up, nor down. Arm can go all the way around. Down there, can go up that high. Bend single, 90 degrees, and twist. Double barbell at the wrists. Upper movement at the torso, which is quite nice. Lower here in the waist. Together, you get some really nice movement. Jean-Claude is actually pretty decent considering how bulky he looks. Up about there. A little bit of an angle. Can actually get him to sit down. Not bad. Back. There. Twist at thigh. Double bend at the knee, which is actually a lot better than I thought. Foot goes down, and there's a bit of a gap there to allow up a bit. And you have pivot as well. So this guy moves pretty much the way I'd expected, although his torso really surprised me, and there's a bit more of range on his legs too, but very nice to pose about. Out of all of the Yu Jing figures I've got, this guy is the most fun probably to pose around. Very solid. It's a shame about his gun, but getting him to hip fire is just like an 80s action movie. But yeah, really liking this figure. So this guy looks to be the most nimblest of the four I've got. The Shang Ji Invincibles 1. The other two are exactly the same, I believe. Just different weapon loadouts. Stand here. And here's the figure again. Loads of hands and other accessories. I chose this guy due to his rifle. But we'll take a look at that and the rest in more detail. Shang Ji 1 comes with this rifle, which I like the look of. Nice drill barrel again. And he holds this rather convincingly, which is why I chose this out of the other two. This design I'm really liking, almost insect-like. And I love the silvers on here. Unlike the other three, this guy seems to be more like an android as opposed to a man in a suit. Sheath for a sword. Nice work here overall. Got this sword and this nice glowy green. Of course, this can be put away here if you like. It's got this gun, nowhere to store it. Again, a little drill barrel, tiny one. This weapon here, I believe, is the same as Wu Ming, but without that yellow. Again, you can put this away. Articulation. So the design of this head is really what makes me think that this is not a human in there. It's on an angle sort of thing, so there's a giggity going downwards like that. Up about only there. Down there. Then left and right at a slight angle. Turn. Tiltage. The arm sort of comes out a bit more. There's a bit more plastic in between there. Be hindered a bit by this pauldron. It's only about up to there. Back, of course. Up there. And because of that gap, you can kind of put forward a bit like that. Almost like a butterfly. Single bend. 90. And there's a twist. Double barbell at the wrists. Upper torso is good. Waist you got as well. Bit tight. But it is quite good actually. Utilizing both. Very nice. Jean-Claude is not that great. Leg can go up about there, hindered by that, the crotch piece. But you can actually move it in and he gets higher, up to there. Back there. Twist. And the bend at the knee is not that great, kind of angles downwards. But not great range at all. I was expecting a lot more from this guy. Foot can go up just a little bit. Down is much better, and there's pivot there. Get his sword out. So I found actually he's a lot more fun to play with his sword. Did have him with his rifle, and he holds his rifle really well. Getting around this holstered gun, bit of an issue, but not that bad when you get used to everything. And the legs, although limited, you can still get him into some nice poses because he does have some good range on his torso, and he's just got this look with his head and how he's able to move his arms closer to the body. Can put it up like that if you like, but quite like the look where his head's kind of down like that. Yeah, enjoying this guy even though he's got those limitations with his knee bend. Again, good stuff. This guy next. Huo Invincibles Missile Launch guy. Promo pics of this guy really made me pay attention to Yu Jing. Again, stand. Simply hands for extra accessories. The main accessories are on the figure itself. So as well as the other hands the other two come with, he also comes with these two straight out of the box. But these smaller ones work better on these controls, I think. So closer look, starting with these guns of the dry brushing. Red there, the dual barrel again. Nice head sculpt, bulky look. Pauldrons here, this wiring connection there. Everything looking good. Similar aesthetic to the others, but different design. Huge feet. Back here. These bits are on a harder plastic connecting to the top bit there, not the bottom of the back. Articulation will start with these huge sort of laser cannon things. I imagine they're lasers, can turn like that. And can go up and down. I would hold it from the bottom there. Tiltage for head on a double barbell. You can also turn at a slight angle. Down, up a bit. Pauldron is connected to the shoulder via this rubber kind of thing. So they should have done for Shang Ji. So it can go all the way around if you want it to. Up there, moves out of the way. Bend. Single. Twist. Double barbell. Torso movement is actually pretty good. The upper part and the lower bit. You can move it from the back with those things sticking out, so you can move around and you get some pretty decent movement for a bulky guy. This leg was actually coming off, so I had to heat it and yeah, stick it back in, and it's working now. Jean-Claude is not too bad. Up, sort of there, an angle. Back there. Twist. Double bend at the knee. Better than Shang Ji. Foot goes up a little bit, down, and pivot there. So these huge feet will allow him to stand quite easily. Doesn't have really much variation because he's just got these guns attached. If only you could remove them. But I really do like this figure. And lastly, Blue Wolf Mongol Cavalry. No idea why he's known as the Blue Wolf when there is no blue on him whatsoever. 15 years and up. Nice promo pics. Biggest stand for him. And here he is. Oops, claws away there. Huge guy. Out of the box, he'll have this right claw. I really like this look in the blue on him, the shape of them. You can get him in some nice poses, of course, with both clawed hands. He has a left trigger finger hand as well. Two closed fists, small ones. Left holding hand and right trigger finger hand, small versions as well. So the small hands for these small arms, which have just folded behind him, as don't really want to use them. Look a bit odd. So the head is more like a faceplate than an actual head. There's this rubbery plastic bit around the neck. Don't remove the head. I did, and I'll show you issues I had with it. I do like this design and the look. Green there with glowy green. This thing here. There, not much. This gun looks good. connected here. It's a bit rubbery, this thing. Plugs in. There's supposed to be like a little human in there, or normal sized human, but I don't know, it just doesn't work for me. Just my head can't get around how a human can sort of fit in there. Back here. Arms here. So yeah, nice design for this guy. So I had issues with the head. I removed it and I couldn't put it back in. There was a double barbell for the head, and then the rubbery thing around the neck, and then there was a shallow bit, long neck bit inside, which was quite thin, and that's connected to another double barbell on the actual body. And it was such a nightmare to try and get on, so I eventually just glued in the part to the neck bit, and that seems to have worked. But there are loads of points of articulation, so the neck and head can still move around like that. The rubbery thing kind of gets out of the way. Pauldron is on a hinge to ball joint, similar to how they do it with the Warhammer Terminator figures. And it is on this joint here, which has some movement going around. There on this side, there's nothing hindering movement. See there, move it up like that high, movement there, twist, double bend for bicep, double barbell, butterfly joint here, and these little arms do move as well, bend and turn, etc. Movement upper torso. There is a waist, a bit more difficult to move, but works well with the upper one. Jean-Claude is not so bad, but works primarily really the drop down hips. Not so much drop down there, because they can move in any which way. Look at that, pretty decent. And this on the metal joints can move back, forth, left and right, up, about there, back, twist, double bend at the knee, and it's pour down, up, pivot. Same design as the missile guy. So yeah, the issues I had was with his head, but everything else works very nicely. I was a bit surprised that it's more like a sort of faceplate for his head, but he still looks pretty awesome. I thought I was going to use both claw hands, but I quite like him with this gun too, and the way that the wire bit connects. I'm glad you do have the option, it can remove if you like, but he's a nice, huge and imposing, a great addition of course to Yu Jing. There we go. So yeah, I prefer to kind of not use those little hands, little arms, but it doesn't look too bad just folding them behind to sort of add to his design. Yeah, another great Yu Jing figure. So these guys are 1/18 scale, obviously with varying heights and sizes. There is a bit more of a bulk to these guys than normal 1/18 scale lines. Some figures in a similar color scheme: Acid Rain AMM on the right, BI Navigator that I reviewed recently, and on the left Mason, leader of the Apis mellifera, in a more sort of grimier, dirtier look as opposed to the clean Yu Jing look. Annex 2179 from Toys Alliance, sort of android looking lasses, worked pretty well with the Yu Jing. Star Wars TVC, Ahsoka and Huang, who are more true 1/18 scale, so a bit smaller, but I think they actually still scaled pretty well. Butt Naked Strife figure on the left and Sorrow Expeditionary Forces on the right, which I think looks pretty decent with these guys. Joytoy TMNT Michelangelo and Warhammer 40k Terminator from Blood Angels on the right. And here is a choice of other Infinity figures from Joytoy, with Pan-Oceania being the majority of them, because I think they're sort of more similar than any of the other factions that Joytoy have done from Infinity. So let's take a look at these two with their unhelmeted heads. Let's see, Wu Ming is a bit taller than Padre. And I really want to check these two Wolf ones out. Duroc is huge against the Blue Wolf. This guy, Pan-Oceania, one of my favorites still. Big head, big arms as well. So compared to these tiny arms here. See that? Look how huge that arm is compared to that tiny arm on the Blue Wolf. Like different scales. His forearm is about the same size almost as the whole arm with the Blue Wolf little guy. See, look how small that arm is. See the size and scale discrepancy. I think it's worse than on their Joytoy's Warhammer figures. This one, the Gecko. Done the same with him. Folded his arms back. These arms are a lot bigger as well. So just fold them back here though. So not utilized as actual arms. But yeah, it's strange how different the sizes are between these figures for these what's supposed to be normal 1/18 scale human arms coming out of them. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Is Yu Jing your thing or not? Or are you thinking of getting any of these? Has this video changed your mind? I really like these figures, and I don't think there's enough discourse or people talking about them, and I hope they do more. Anyway, if you want to get your own, then click the link in the description for my affiliates and money off vouchers and things like that on there. If you like this video, click the thumbs up for more content, subscribe, and I'll scale you later.